Gareth, one of my frustrations over the years working in this industry is coming away from a fantastic training initiative over a period of time and going back into an organization maybe 6 months later to see how much of what people have learned has been adopted, and seeing, let's just say, a patchy at best adaptation of whatever it is they have been learning. In other words, some people are doing it pretty well and making a big difference, and others really not doing it because they're not being held to account. What's your experience of this, Gareth, and what do you think is at the cause of this?
Yeah, it's sadly very common, and it's such a shame because it's an all too common experience. And one of the things I often ask groups is, well, where do you as an organization place your focus? Well, the results that you achieve, the things that you do, i.e. how you get there, or thirdly, your technique, how good are you at doing those things? And when I ask commercial teams, they often focus straight on the results. And I often use the analogy of a sporting coach. Can you imagine a sports coach coming out and kind of going, well, we're not that worried about our technique. We're certainly not going to get better at it by focusing. We're just going to focus on the results. And in the sporting world, any coach would probably be deemed as crazy to do that. But yet, by default, that's often actually what a lot of businesses are actually saying. We're not going to worry about what we do. We're not particularly worried about practicing that. We're just going to focus on the results. And of course, it becomes a self-perpetuating circle there.
And, when you're thinking about technique, one of the key things that people will take away from a good quality training program is a technique and maybe a framework within which to operate. What kind of impact do you think it has in an organization when the leaders in that organization do not model that process or that technique?
Yeah, and that's a real issue because companies will often say, yeah, but we've got a training budget and we've trained all our people. And you kind of go, well, that only goes so far. That may give them some really good frameworks and really good tools. And of course, you can have a great week or a few days or whatever it is on a training program. But it's when you get back that really matters. And if the leaders haven't been on the same program, well, they're not modeling the behavior because they don't know that stuff. They're certainly not coaching it because, again, they don't know that. And therefore, the people who have been on the program just revert back to what they're seeing and what they did before. So it ultimately means that you've reduced your opportunity for getting any return on that investment that you put into that training budget, because it comes back to that self-perpetuating circle. It's okay when you're doing well that you don't necessarily practice that. You've got all the industry trends going in your right direction. It's only when you find out when things get tougher, industry trends change, that you find out what your technique is like. And by that time, it's often too late.
Okay, so the real, embodiment of the what it is that they're learning by the leaders and the coaching and the support of it right from the get-go, not just when times are tough, right from the get-go, making sure that that's consistently applied throughout the organization, really, really important.